Hello, anybody watching? I Happy Resurrection Day. It is Easter Sunday. Um but I like to call it Resurrection Day. I'm not too keen on the Easter eggs and the whole mixing of the things, but that's not important. I wanted to say, when I was in my 20s and I was hitchhiking around, I started hitchhiking when I was 19 or 18, right out of high school. And I was like, I'm walking like Jesus. I have nothing, just like he did. I'm better than all the Babylonians that have stuff. And I was so full of myself. I was carrying around an 80-pound bag and I was walking everywhere, but it wasn't exactly preaching the gospel, and I also was not. I was just full of myself. I'm walking the steps, but I'm not actually doing anything else. And and I got the tattoos and stuff because I'm going to rebel against society. I'm going to not make it so that I'm absolutely not accepted by Babylon because I'm a rebel. Yeah. And wow, now that I'm in my early 40s, I'm just like, oh man. And so now that I'm learning, reading the Old Testament, reading the New Testament, looking into different things, scholars that resonate with me, not all of them resonate with me. I still don't trust super rich preachers with their silk ties and the fancy smanchy. Don't trust ya. Not an Osteen fan. He says a lot of positive stuff, but he's still a rich, greedy guy, and he's not real. So I'm more like, I like the humble people more. I realize like how completely pompous I was, and I didn't honor my mom and dad. I was just rebellious, and it's a phase. Everyone goes through the phase. I'm just trying to like warn people, the younger generation, hey, listen, be really mindful of what you think you want to do in your 20s, because 20 years from now, 20 years later, when you're in your 40s, you might be going like this and feeling really embarrassed. And if that happens to you, don't be completely discouraged. I'm actually going through that right now myself. I was sobbing last night because I looked back at myself and holy cow, the mistakes I've made. And then, my prayer group and my other friends are saying, you're repentant, that's good, be happy, you are forgiven, accept that forgiveness. So now I'm in the process of forgiving myself and accepting Christ's forgiveness for me of my super pompousness. And one of the things I'm learning about in the Old Testament, the Israel in the Old Testament did a lot of forgetting, and they got punished, and then they'd come back into the fold and be what they were supposed to, obey the Torah. And then the generations would pass, and the next the future generations would be like, we don't need it, and they'd get punished again and scattered and all kinds of stuff. And then of course in 1948, after their huge punishment that happened through the Holocaust and the Nazis, Israel was reestablished, and now there it is, it's formed again. But are they being completely obedient? I don't really think so, but I'm not really looking into it. Do I pray for Israel and the people who live there? I do. I just wanted to, let the future generations know to be really careful what permanent thing you do to your body because you might regret it 20 years down the road. And listen to your elders, your grandparents, your parents, because they have already made a bunch of mistakes and regretted it. And they're not harping on you because they hate you. They're harping on you because they don't want to see you make the same mistakes. That's all that is. Hey, I've made these mistakes. I don't want to do it. I regret doing it. Please don't do it. And so there is hope, because Yeshua is forgiving. You definitely accept that forgiveness and try really hard to be repentant. And to me, repentant means, when you say you're sorry, that means you try not to do it again. You don't actively say. Empty apologies mean nothing. They don't mean anything to people on earth, and they probably don't mean much to Yahweh in heaven. So, if you're super repentant, then try, and I do continue to sin. I accidentally, or I get all hyped up and in a hurry in my head, and I cuss, and I take the Lord's name in vain. And then at night in my evening prayers, I out loud with my mouth say, hey, I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I did this wrong today. Because at the end of your life, you have an end of life review, and you have to relive everything you've done. But instead of feeling what you felt in the moment, you feel what the people you affected feel. And that is going to be super hard for me. I'm not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to getting to stand before Yahweh and saying, I'm really sorry. And, whether I get to heaven or I go to hell, I at least apologize and have a hug and tell you how bad I feel. I'm really sorry. And whether this resonates with anyone or not, it doesn't matter. At the moment, I'm just kind of picking up sticks. If so when you apologize, sincerely mean it and try vigilantly not to do that again. And think extraordinarily carefully before you go running and jumping. All you hyped up teenagers, hyped up 20-year-olds, be careful, because 40 years, 20 years later, you're gonna go, oh man. And it's hard. It's hard to come to grips with the mistakes. And it's just that us older people, we just don't want you to go through the same things we do. But it's a phase of life. It's part of growing. So as we understand, and we know you're going to come out of it, but we're only warning you because we love you and we care about your future. That's what that is. So again, happy second day of Passover. Happy Resurrection Day. And have a good day, and think thoroughly before you run and jump. That's the message. Just think thoroughly through it. People aren't trying to dominate you and tell you this and that. We're telling you because we care, because we went through it and we regret it later. And so that's my message for this second day of Passover. Thank you for watching. I hope my words mean something to somebody. See you later.